All right, welcome guys. Sorry I'm gone today. Let's start with our 3 deep breaths like we do every day. So sitting up tall, sealing your lips, breathing in through the nose, and exhaling through the nose. Breathing in through the nose, and exhaling. And one more deep breath. And exhale. So the sub should have already directed you to take out your lesson 58 definitions and lists for block day's quiz. So if you haven't listened to them yet, please do that and take out your vocab list. This is what you're looking at here. The sub does have extra copies if you need those. So there are several tips that we should have already followed. So we're going to be working on tip number 5 here for just a few minutes today. What you should have already done, you should have crossed out words you already know. You should have chunked the words that you do not know into groups of 4 or 5. And then remember that if you chunk them into categories or groups of 4 or 5 that have similarities, it will help you retain those definitions better. Like if you reorder the list, that will help you learn these words or at least retain them long enough for the quiz. Read through the definitions and highlight parts that make the most sense to you. So pick out just confidence for a plum. Just pick out confidence, circle that word. So you should have already done all this, and then we marked down the parts of speech last week. So if you missed that, please get the parts of speech from someone that you know who was here in class on that day. So the last thing we're going to do is, or not, at least the last thing before the quiz, is to know how to use the parts of speech to write sentences, because you will have sentences on your test. You will not have matching, and you'll have all of the sentences on block day. So knowing how to use the parts of speech can really, really help you out when taking a test. So basically we have nouns, verbs, and adjectives. You've already marked those. They give you a sample sentence. I'm going to show you how to use those in just a moment for your activity today. However, when you see this slide, it shows you where the noun would be placed in the sentence. I want you to think of a sentence like a puzzle. And puzzles have nouns and verbs and adjectives. They have other parts of speech, but we just need to know where these 3 parts of speech would fall in a sentence most often, and that will help us figure out where the words are, like where they fall into the test questions. So a noun is usually right before a verb or right after an adjective. A verb is going to be after a subject or after a helping verb. If you see can, I can fly if I want to, I can cry if I want to, I can jump if I want to. So the verb's going to come after a helping verb a lot of times as well. Adjectives come before the noun, or sometimes those adjectives are the last thing in the sentence because it's us describing ourselves. Now those are pretty simplified sentences, and as we study the sentences on our list, we'll see that not all sentences are that simplified. So looking at your list, I'm going to pick a word that I know most of you shared with me that you did not know, and that was a plum. Let me zoom it in. So when you look at a plum, the debutante handled herself with a plum at the ball. So we know that this is a noun. So if you hadn't marked that yet, make sure that you've marked that a noun. So we have the debutante is a noun, handled is a verb, herself is our object, with a plum at the ball. At the ball is prepositional, so with a plum, it's something you have. So that's kind of a challenging word to use. With confidence is what they're saying. So one way to do this is to create your own sentence, to use your own paper and make your own sentence. So go ahead and get out a piece of paper right now. The sub can pause the video until everyone has a piece of paper out. You will staple this piece of paper to your vocab list because the vocab list and your study habits will be turned in when you take your quiz. So then we have a plum is the word that we're working with, and we have the sentence. So when I tutor, I have the kids write down the sentence. The debutante handled herself with a plum at the ball. Then you want to write your own sentence, but follow this pattern. So you would say the something handled, you can use the same verb, themselves with a plum, and then tell me where. Could be the players handled themselves with aplomb during the game. It could be the teacher handled herself with aplomb. So this could be herself, themselves, himself. It could be a lot of different things. So go ahead and write a sentence that follows the model sentence. The sentence here is a model. I promise you when teachers write these test questions, they look at this. And then I want you to give yourself a hint or a connection here. So the connection would be someone in your life that has a plum. They have this. It's something they own, a plum. They own their own confidence. So write the name of someone here who handles themselves with a plum. So that will help remind you of this. It would help if you also wrote the sentence about them. So this is what I would like for you to do. I want you to pick 5 words, and with those 5 words that you struggle most with, you're going to apply this sentence strategy with those words. So you're going to copy the sentence that is the sample sentence, write your own based on that model sentence, and if at all possible, use the connection in the sentence. Otherwise, write yourself a hint or connection after the sentence. So please do this with at least 5 of the words, and then you can move on to your rhetoric review assignment. You will turn in the review assignment at the end of the hour. You will keep your vocabulary stuff. Keep that till the quiz, which is on block day. But turn in your rhetorical review assignment that the sub will give you. Even if you're not finished, I want everything turned in today so I can see how you used your time. So make sure that you use your time wisely, and I will see you all tomorrow in the library for the reading assessment.